How's it going, Ram fans? Welcome to yet another edition of Bleacher Beat. I'm your host, as always, Brandon Kruse. Well, this past weekend was a very busy one for CSU athletics, and there's even more in store for you this week. I'll give you a rundown on all the games for the upcoming week. Plus, the Big 12 has officially welcomed 4 new members. Find out what it means for CSU going forward. All of that and more on Bleacher Beat, which starts now. We'll tip things off with some CSU athletics scheduling. Campus was hustling and bustling this past weekend with orange outs and packed student sections highlighting what was an entertaining weekend of fall sports here at Colorado State. But after some mixed results on the field and in the gym, all of the Rams will have to pivot for another week's worth of action. Volleyball begins the festivities on Thursday, traveling just 45 miles south of here to battle arch rival Colorado down in Boulder. And after that, the Rams will return the favor, welcoming the Buffaloes to Moby Arena at 1 p.m. on Saturday as part of a home-and-home series. As you heard from Brendan and Madeline last night, the Rams had an impressive showing this past weekend, going a perfect 3-0 in front of a rabid home crowd. CSU's performance was highlighted by a thriller against Oregon State on Friday night, where they were able to pull out against the Beavers in 5 sets. For Ram fans, hopefully they'll be able to cash in 2 more wins against their arch rival before transitioning to conference play the following week. And to wrap up the week, CSU football goes on the road for the first time this season, making the trip to Ohio to face the Toledo Rockets on Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock Mountain Time. After the Rams fell short in both of their opening games at Canvas Stadium, they look to turn things around against a Toledo squad that has also experienced some letdown moments early on in the season. The Rockets lost a heartbreaker this past weekend. As 16.5-point underdogs, Toledo was a determined bunch up in South Bend last Saturday, giving 8th-ranked Notre Dame all they could handle. But in the dying minutes, the Rockets came up just a bit short. After Toledo took a 29-24 lead on a long TD run, the Irish went down the field in a matter of 26 seconds, throwing for a touchdown with just 1:09 remaining on the clock. That play would prove to be the deciding factor, allowing Notre Dame to hold off the Rockets and preserve their 25-game home winning streak. Toledo returns to the Glass Bowl to take on your Rams this weekend. Both teams definitely have something to prove to the college football world, so expect some tough-nosed football in the Midwest afternoon sun. For a while, conversation has swirled surrounding the Big 12 expanding past its current 10-team membership. Big 12 with only 10 schools? I know it's confusing, but ever since Texas A&M left the conference to join the SEC back in 2012, the Big 12 has lost some of its thunder. That, along with the fact that each of the other Power 5 conferences hold at least 12 schools, supported the Big 12 expanding. So why now? Why did the Big 12 suddenly decide at this moment to bring in 4 new schools? Well, you can thank Texas and Oklahoma, who after criticizing A&M's decision to leave, ended up following the path of the Aggies. Back on July 30th, Texas and OU unanimously voted to accept invitations to join the SEC, making it the first 16-team super conference. And now it's just a matter of when the move will become a reality. Obviously, the departure of Texas and OU is a huge financial blow for the Big 12. And you would be justified to doubt whether this conference would actually survive, given that its biggest moneymakers by a long shot are leaving. But surprisingly, the Big 12 refused to back down, dedicated to keep its conference running despite the setback. This explains why it was so eager to welcome BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF into the fold. And looking at the 4 programs they added, these teams all have some talent. BYU football produced a top 2 first-round pick in quarterback Zach Wilson last year, while the basketball program has won at least 20 games in 15 of the last 16 seasons. And Cincinnati football has put up a 31-6 record the past 3 seasons on the gridiron. Right now, the Bearcats are ranked 8th in the nation. That's better than Ohio State, Penn State, and Notre Dame. Houston basketball made the Final Four last year, where they lost to fellow Big 12 member and eventual national champion, the Baylor Bears. Well, that's all the action I have for you, Rams, tonight, but don't go away just yet. Noah Pasley is up to give you all the action on entertainment coming up right after the break.